Hey folks, it's us, podcasting wonderkins John Bishop and Lucas Southworth.
Although this is a podcast about cars, it is not age appropriate for the target demographic of these films, as we usually end up talking about the reproductive organs of Lightning McQueen.
Alright, now let's take a look under the hood.
Hello, brothers and sisters. It is me, Brother John, here with another episode of the Kachat.
The only podcast brave enough to ask the question.
Hey, what is up with cars?
Also, I'm Lucas.
We will be discussing the truth, the word, the meaning behind it all in today's episode, Rel-Engine.
Yeah, suckers! I told John I would do the monk voice with him, but then I didn't do it.
And he shall pay for his sins a deep, deep cost, his eternal damnation for this betrayal.
Hey, should I honk the first part of the word damnation?
No, because damnation is a concept. I didn't say just the word as a curse. I said the word damnation as a concept that I'm introducing to the world, because cars definitely can go to hell.
Well, that's true. Also, are you going to do the monk voice the entire episode? Because I did not realize that when I signed off on it.
I as well did not know how much I would enjoy doing my monk voice, but it has grown on me, and it has grown strong. But I think I'm done.
Okay, that's probably, for the best.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah,
I don't like the headspace I was getting into.
Yeah. I didn't love the being near your headspace.
Well, I did, within that minute and a half, already shave my head in just the crown has been shaved. So it's real weird.
It's sort of like a friar look, then, if you've got like that halo of hair.
Yes, I've got the halo of hair. But also,
Nice.
I have grown out just the sideburns. I don't remember what the Old Testament says you're supposed to do. There's a part of your hair you're supposed to grow out.
Anyway, if you didn't get that from our nonsense, we're talking about religion in the Cars world today.
Yes, we are. We have touched on this topic many a time, and
we sure
I
have.
think it's time we get down into the nitty-gritty of this very uncomfortable topic in both cars and the real world.
Yeah, we've been dancing around it for a while, and we were just like, let's go ahead and just dive headlong in without really knowing what we're doing,
Yep. And just so you know how much expertise we have, we are both very basic Christians.
Yeah, we're both raised Christian, so we don't really have perspectives outside of that, but we will try our best.
All right, so first discussion point. Evidence of religion in cars. We gotta say it, there's a Pope Mobile, and there's also a Pope Mobile.
We love the Pope Mobile.
So
we do talk about the Pope Mobile, like, in a lot of episodes.
It makes me uncomfortable because there's the Pope car that is the Pope and is a car. But then there is a car person who is the Pope Mobile.
Yeah, the Pope is inside the Pope Mobile, but the Pope is still a car.
Yes. I want to call the Pope Mobile, but it doesn't work because there is a Pope Mobile that is a living, breathing creature, and that's uncomfortable, which I think is a great time to mention our question from Liz.
Right off the bat.
Yep.
We're getting into it.
A question from Liz. The Pope is inside the Pope Mobile. Does that mean they are having sex? Yes. Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's our final ruling.
I think that a strict definition of sex is just penetration, so he's in there.
I'm not sure that's the definition of sex.
I feel like I read somewhere that like it's some form of penetration is sex, which is like oral sex is a thing.
Gosh. But surgeons stick their hands inside of you, and we don't say, like, that's sex, or there are lots of things that go inside your body that are not considered sex.
Oh, then I should probably apologize to that doctor who checked me.
Real quick, I have a suggestion vis-a-vis the Pope Mobile confusion.
Okay, yes.
What if we called the Pope Mobile, and the Pope Mobile
The
the
Pope
Pope
Mobile
Mobile
Mobile?
Mobile? Yes.
Yes.
So the actual head of the Catholic Church is the Pope Mobile. The car he rides in is the Pope Mobile Mobile. That's how you know. That's our distinction from now until the end of time. You'll know who we're talking about now, except you probably won't because we won't remember this and get all confused in
I
about 18 minutes.
I was gonna give us 5. I was gonna give us
Yeah,
5 minutes.
well, it came out of my mouth, and I was like, "That's pretty optimistic, Lucas."
18 minutes? See, what
Yeah,
the audience doesn't know is we really record these episodes for 18-hour periods of time. It just 99% of that has to be removed because we're repeating ourselves and getting things wrong.
yeah. It's why do you think it took 2 years to get those first episodes out?
Because editing takes an actual month per episode.
Yeah, and just opening the 18-hour audio files on my 2011 laptop, that alone takes about 3 days.
Same with mine, except mine died right before we actually started recording, so I had to switch to my beautiful Chromebook.
Good old computer swap. Anyway, there is religion in the Cars world. We talked about.
Yeah, that we've only given one piece of evidence for that. What else is there?
Uh, I mean, the Catholic Church is the big one. Uh, I will say, and we'll get into this. I want to get into this much more later, but there is like a throwaway line in Cars One after Mac finds Lightning in Radiator Springs. He rolls up to Lightning and he says, "Oh, Lightning, thank the manufacturer."
Oh,
Like,
that's
thank
good.
God.
Yep.
Yeah. So either they call God the manufacturer uh, in the Abrahamic religions, or it's some separate unspecified religion that worships the manufacturer.
I mean, if we convert language, it's oh, thank the creator, which isn't a
Yeah,
thing that the average uh, Christian would say. I don't think. Not as an actual genuine exclamation.
yeah. It's not really like something people say normally, but like that's a phrase. Thank the creator.
Yeah, but like, I don't think I've ever heard someone say it not ironically.
Yeah, it may be a bit old timey.
Yeah, and I don't think Mac's all that old.
And I don't think he's all that like irony loving. Like he wasn't saying it because like, oh, this will be. I'm gonna really spice up my vocabulary with I don't know old time religious terms. Like the millennials do.
Absolutely.
Are there any more examples of religion?
You know, we are making an entire episode about it, and we prepare so well for every other episode. But this one, uh, I can't think of anything.
No, we're so bad at this. We're so bad at this, John. Who let us do this? We're a podcast that's on iTunes.
Oh boy.
They really do just let anyone on there, huh? Okay, but those are two. In terms of creation, I guess. I don't know if this is directly related to the thank the manufacturer comment, but in Cars 2, I was texting Johnny about this earlier. The lemons, the villains of that movie, say they stopped manufacturing us. So that could be a direct reference to like the manufacturer stopped manufacturing us, or maybe that was like a very I don't know atheistic view of the world.
I don't know. I feel like
You know?
even that comment has this terrifying implication of, oh, there's someone who just chooses who exists, and they can just stop at any point.
Yeah, whether or not it's religious, it's at the very least it's real messed up. Oh, and I mean, this is not evidence in the movies, but there's our weird train religion we invented like 3 or 4 episodes ago.
Invented or discovered?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm so sorry. It was groundbreaking cars science. We wrote a peer review article about it.
You can check it out on my friend's good old fashioned WordPress blog, Jesus Christ Pooper Star.
Do you have a friend who has that
I don't know if he still has
WordPress,
it.
or was that just a weird joke you
I
made?
don't know if he still has it, but I do have a friend who actually made a WordPress called that. It was right after he dropped out of Bible school.
Well,
he
I guess that
he had a weird
that
turn.
connects some dots for me then. Anyway, there are a couple like textual examples of religion in the Cars universe, and maybe there are more.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume, since Catholicism exists, we can assume that there are other
Other religions?
real life
Yep.
religions. Yes, thank you. Other religions from our world that have been carified. So I think we can go
Wait,
ahead and
wait.
assume that.
I think one of Mater's costumes when he was a spy was of a rabbi.
Really? What did they come
I hope so,
out
because I'm gonna
by?
sound weird if I'm wrong.
If you just had that weird memory. No, John, that was from the DeviantArt uh, profile you were looking
Oh
at
no,
earlier.
it's from my DeviantArt. Pixar? No, I'm not seeing anything and I'm getting worried. Lucas, did I imagine this?
This may have just been a weird dream you had about Tow Mater being a rabbi.
Oh boy.
Anyway, I guess we can go ahead and get into like the Abrahamic religions, sort of examine their trajectory if all of the figures in them are in fact cars. Would you like to do that, John?
Yes, but I've found an article about how you can confirm that, yes, Car Hitler, Car Stalin, and all those people definitely exist. Oh no, it's just the things we've already talked about.
Oh, we've gotten into that. Yeah, it's very direct. World War II happened, so they probably also happened.
Oh boy.
Oh well, that gives us Judaism, doesn't it?
Yep. Because I'm looking up,
Oh,
trying to find this Mater. Oh boy.
oh no, that's a real sad way to confirm Judaism exists in this universe, huh?
World War II exists, so there has to have existed a people that were. Yep, that's real sad. Well, there's my very not fun fact for the day.
Yeah. Out of left field comes the very not fun fact.
Lucas, this
You want to get into the Abrahamic religions? We've confirmed two of them.
this Mater has to exist, right?
John, I'm sorry, but I'm not sure he does.
So, Abrahamic religions. We talked about how we think that Wally could be the Abraham, or Inspector Gadget, or even Turbo from Turbo. Who else could be the Abraham?
I think we can rule out Turbo as the Abraham because our trajectory with Turbo is more of an evolution standpoint rather than a progenitor of people or anything.
Yeah.
But,
Inspector Gadget, though.
Talk to me about Inspecto Gadget.
So, we know for a fact that Inspector Gadget has had surgeries that allow him to mate with cars. Does that make him the Abraham? Or is he just like the Adam? In fact, Turbo could be Adam.
Yeah, that's true.
And again, I must state, we do know for a fact that, for sure, Inspector Gadget can mate with cars.
Yep, I can, in good conscience, agree with John.
Okay, so all three of them could easily be Abraham and or Adam. Probably, I feel like they would all probably just be Adam. But then Abraham would have to just be some car that existed back in Abraham's day. So a cart, a donkey, Turbo Teen. He could be Adam.
Oh, Turbo Teen
because
is entirely
for sure he can bone down on a car.
No,
And it's been
if
a long
anyone
time since that
can.
show came out, so he's old enough. Oh, there's a subreddit.
For
Oh, dragons.
what are you talking about, John?
I'm gonna just a warning, I'm gonna put a quarter in the jar. So there's a subreddit called Dragons Fucking Cars, and
Oh,
it's exactly what you would think it is, and it's just dragons going at cars. And like I saw this one GIF, and it was someone like put in a lot of time and effort to make this very detailed GIF of a dragon who like beautifully animated just railing on a car.
is it like a porn thing, or is it like? How isn't it funny that we created these images of dragons, in cars?
I gotta think it's both, cause like there's too much detail. Like it had a penis, like a dog has a penis. It was
The
gross.
dragon, right? Not the car.
Yeah, yeah. The
Okay.
car was just being smashed. It wasn't even like a sentient car or anything.
I mean, I guess that's
Oh
good.
boy. All right, so Wally could be Abraham.
Yes, because on the Wally trajectory to cars, Wally does not become one of the cars. I think we decided the actual people on the ship become the cars, because they like
Hmm.
modify their chairs around them. But Wally is the one who got them back to Earth. He's like this really important figure to them. So maybe that could get him to being the Abraham of this society of people who become the cars.
All right, I've developed a new theory for our own car religion, and I'm gonna talk about that later. But
Good
all
teaser.
right, so maybe Abraham, maybe Noah.
I can see exactly where it. Okay, yeah,
Eve is Noah because giant ark filled with slug people. I could see that.
yeah. If Eve
Do you
is
think
Noah,
cars
that
get
would make Wally
circumcised?
the. Oh my god. I was going on a point.
Do you think cars get
John, I
circumcised?
did hear you.
Yeah, but
You
Lucas, do
just.
you think cars get circumcised?
I don't remember the last time you've stopped me in my tracks like that. Like usually we talk over each other. One of us just sort of plows through, but
Yeah, but Lucas, do you think cars get circumcised?
again, I did hear your question. Well, okay, I'm going to think about car circumcision now, John, because that's the kind of night you decided I would have. So,
Yep.
uh, I mean, what? Their headlights, we always say, are their genitalia?
Yeah.
How do you
So,
circumcise a headlight, John? Tell me this. You're the one who brought this up. How do you circumcise a headlight?
uh, okay, so the light itself is the penis, but the light that is emitted, the like energy light, the photon, that's the DNA that comes out. So it'd have to be something to do with altering the light, like the light bulb or the casing. And I think it would probably be the casing.
Yeah, that would make the most sense.
I have changed a light bulb before in my own car, and
Gross.
you gotta like reach in there and like just really work your hands in this tiny small thing, and then you can like take the entire thing out. Then you just have to plug everything in. I don't know. I think it's just like, okay, so everything's replaceable. So maybe they just take a light bulb and put in a light bulb that's the same size but uses slightly less glass.
Yes, I don't want us to talk about car circumcision anymore, so I'm going to say you got it in one. One take Johnny. That's what we call him.
Nice. So we've talked about circumcisions. Baptism. It's just a car wash, but a specific kind of car wash.
When you get baptized, is it with holy water or is it just with water?
Uh, it depends. If it's a Catholic one, I think they like spritz some holy water on a baby.
Yeah, I believe you're right that in Catholic tradition it has to be holy water. But
Hey,
so
hey, Lucas, why aren't there any vampires in Africa?
I don't know, John.
It's because they blessed the rains down in Africa.
Okay, you did it. You did it, John. Good job. Everyone really loved that. Everyone tweet at
I'm sure
John.
they did.
Well, John doesn't have a Twitter. Tweet at the chat, I guess, and then I'll see it.
I do. I've got like one follower. I haven't used it in
Oh yeah, we
years.
talked about this on another episode because you tweeted at Felicia Day with it. Uh, but
Yeah,
tweet at the chat, I guess, and tell John you really enjoyed his Toto reference.
it's not my joke because I've heard it many times, but I had to do it.
So, what do you think the process of blessing car wash water is like? Or does it go in pre-blessed, you think? Like they have a specific one that they only load holy water into?
How does holy water work in the real world? Does like the Pope just get a container of water and pray over it? Does the Pope just bless an amount of water? And if so, why not bless all of it?
We also have a resource that I could ask. It's my computer. How do holy water? John, I want you to know that the second result for Google autocomplete after how does holy water work is how does holy water taste like?
I have been curious for so long.
It's grammatically incorrect, but also very good. It's that that's that's very good. Sanctified by a priest, so it doesn't
Just a
have to be the
priest?
Pope. It just yeah, a priest makes it happen.
Okay, so it could be they load it into a tank for a car wash and then just don't put in soap. Or it could just be like a giant body of water they like drive into and out of. What if they had like the forklift people just dunk you in and out?
I guess that could work. Yeah. So we've been talking a lot about making our versions of the car world work with the Abrahamic religions. I want to talk
Hmm.
about like what if it's not these like origins we've talked about? What if it's just I don't know, Jesus was a car way back in the day and Abraham was a car way back in the day.
How do you how do you crucify a car?
That's literally exactly why I brought this up, and
Yeah,
I
cuz
couldn't
like
tell you.
you couldn't have been a wooden cross. Wood wouldn't support hanging a car like that. Not unless it's a massive amount of wood.
I guess they could make it from metal.
Where do you put the
Well, then they
nails?
couldn't nail it. Yeah,
Would you just like weld him to a metal cross?
and then maybe like cut open some of his tanks so he bleeds out, or oils
Yeah.
out or something.
And then when they like stab to reach his heart, the water that comes out that like someone explained to me was just a water sac that is around every heart would be like, oh, instead they missed and they got like his wiper fluid leaking out.
Okay,
But like, where do you put the nails?
I
Because
guess
they cross his legs or his feet and nail through them at the same time with one of the nails.
I don't think we're gonna make that work. I don't think we're going to find a way.
Just like straight through the chassis then?
It could be, or we could. It could just maybe they just used an extra nail. Got both of his tires.
Was John the Baptist the one that got beheaded? Or was it John the Disciple?
I couldn't begin to tell you.
Okay. Well, one of them got beheaded, and how do you behead a car?
I guess you just chop it in half.
But then you'd be cutting through the head. I guess you just cut off the back part.
The back part. What are you talking about?
You cut off the trunk,
Isn't the front their head?
the front and the middle. Like if you open the car door, there's brain.
Yes.
So like you'd have to cut off the front tires and then like scoop around the body and take off the trunk. And then you still have most of the body is because most of that car is the head.
I mean, let's not pretend we know exactly where that brain is in there. I always assumed it's like right behind the windshield, but we don't really know that. Maybe it doesn't take up the whole thing. Maybe it just takes up like the front seats.
Maybe?
So you
I
could
don't
go
know.
right down the middle there. We are using very good
I see
material
that.
for our French Revolution episode, though.
Oh, okay. So catch that one next episode.
Episode 538. How does how does the French Revolution work for cars?
When we get really lazy with titles and it's just going to be Les Misera Car. Nah, Les
Yeah, I can I would.
Motorable.
That's serviceable. Okay, that works.
Les Motorables.
Le Motorola. Wait, that's not a car.
Motorola. Okay. So, I don't know how you would crucify a car or behead a car. Uh, so like
So
car Jesus would just have to like drive into a lake and then drive back out. Also, would Jesus have been a car or like a wagon?
that's not something we've begun to answer, you know?
All right, big
If
story.
if
Uh, Jesus famously like just rode on a donkey once, and how does a car ride on a donkey?
I don't know what Bible story you're talking about, but I hope it was in its entirety. Jesus famously rode on a donkey once.
Like genuinely, that's most of the story. It's
Okay.
one of the disciples was like, "But how are we gonna get there?" And then Jesus was like, "God will provide a way." And then they like walk for a few minutes, and then they find a donkey that's just there. And then, like, well, here's the way. So he rides into town on a donkey, and then like people are shouting in the streets, like "Hallelujah" or something like that. And that's the story.
Nice. So they find a donkey. Maybe they find, you know,
A
those like
tractor?
could be a tractor. I was thinking like those big things that transport like 5 or 6 cars at once, usually for like dealerships. That's like a semi.
Like, yeah, like a semi truck?
Yeah. They would probably be sentient though, huh? If Mac's
Yeah.
sentient and that would be, you know, a Mac.
But also, would it be a car?
Maybe you just got on a cart on top of one.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, let's talk about other religions,
Real quick.
other non Abrahamic ones.
Real quick.
Yeah,
Communion.
communion. Wine? Did you know that, like, in the real world, Catholic priests have to, like, down the rest of communion?
Like they when you say they have to, like it's part of the I guess ritual would be the
Yes,
word
because
of
it would be
communion
considered extremely disrespectful and, like,
to throw
blasphemous
out the blood of
to.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the
It
dude
just yeah.
passes around a cup to like 100 people and then drinks out of that cup.
Then he goes to town. I never knew that. That's actually a really interesting little fact. So you think during the last car supper, car Jesus Chrysler says, "Drink this oil. It is my oil." Because that would cause
And
some confusion.
I don't know, they consume things that aren't oil, right?
It could be drink this wine.
It is
Still,
my antifreeze. Drink this
still, that
wine.
would cause confusion. They drink.
That
They
is a
do
drink.
drink oil. They'd
It
be
is
like,
my
no,
wiper fluid. Drink this wine. It is my squishy bit. And eat this bread. It is also my squishy bit.
it's the other squishy bit, not the liquid one. You get it. You guys get it. You're
It
cool.
is my slightly more solid squishy bit.
I
Oh
just like
boy.
the idea of like I don't know Matthew or something being like, oh, this is your oil that was in your body because that's kind of weird that you. Why would we drink that? No, I. Oh, it's like a thing. Okay, I'm so sorry. Oh, you go right ahead. I'm so sorry for piping up and interrupting you.
See, at first I thought it was just going to be like the basic question of like if I were a disciple and Jesus told me to drink his blood, but then I realized, no, you mean the fact that yes, this that's just a drink. So he's like,
Yeah,
"Hey, you already
it's kind
drank
of
this?"
gross, I guess.
And that's like an actual option because like they would know if it was just blood, but like if it's oil, that's a thing it could be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And we did decide in the Cars 2 episode that I was editing today, so I can actually remember what the heck we said in it. Uh, we did decide that spent oil and was like their pee or poop. So like, would they think like, you want me to do what?
But remember Cars 3 when he's hanging upside down so his oil can reach places it hasn't been to in years?
Yeah.
What if like you got a new trainer and this new trainer like gets you on a gravity track or an inversion table if that's what you want to call it, and it's just like, man, you're gonna you're gonna get piss in places you haven't had it in years.
You are racking up them quarters, but I love it.
I really want to go to Pixar Land. I know it's Cars Land. I know.
They have a Pixar pier, so we could go meet Woody or
They have
something.
a
But
Pixar pier?
yeah,
Nice.
it's a new thing. It's not like a they renamed part of it basically to Pixar pier.
Okay.
Uh, and like slapped some Incredibles characters on a roller coaster that already existed. Liz is mad about it. Uh,
It's like how the Hellevator became the Superman Tower of Power.
yes, or for a more direct Disney reference, I know so much about Disney from one of the Liz's, the one that I date. Uh, how the Tower of Terror is now a Guardian of the Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Why? The Tower
Only
of
the one in
Terror.
Disneyland is.
Okay.
Yeah, the one in World is still the Tower of Terror, but the one in Disneyland is now a Guardians of the Galaxy ride. It does the exact same thing, but like Rocket comes on and you listen to like an '80s song,
I can get behind
and it's
that. The
like,
idea that there's only one Tower of Terror.
yeah. Anyway, sorry. Well, you know what? It is a Disney themed podcast, so I'm not sorry. Never mind.
Speaking of Disney, time for a fun fact. It has nothing to do with Disney.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
there was a prophet in the Old Testament named Elisha. He was a bald man, and two young strapping men made fun of him for being a bald man. So Elisha prayed, and then the Lord sent two female bears, I think, maybe two. I don't know. I think just female bears to like just destroy 42 of the lads.
Man, Old Testament God did not mess around.
That's both a fun fact and a very not fun fact.
Yeah, I'm gonna choose to think of it as more of a fun fact because I don't want to think about it in a not fun fact kind of way.
We also already did a not fun fact, so that works.
Yeah, on accident. You remember. I think we've pretty much covered Catholicism and the like.
Okay, so what about like Buddhism?
Reincarnation is like a yeah because they want to escape the cycle of reincarnation and achieve nirvana is their whole thing.
Ah, nice.
Uh,
They want to reach Carvana, the Pokemon.
yeah, I was about to say Caravana. Is that how you even pronounce that? Who can say?
A big thing about Buddha was like he was well known for having been both big and small depending on the time in his life, because like there's a time for this, there's a time for that, and like there's a time for fasting and a time for feasting. Which brings me back to a point that I think we talked about in the last episode, or maybe 2 episodes ago, and it's, can cars be fat or thin? Because they say flabby in Cars 3, describing one of the world's best athletes.
oh yeah, they sure do.
But like, what does that mean? There's no fat, no visible fat, unless cars have like X-ray vision to see the fatty insides.
I don't think we can, in good conscience, give them X-ray vision off of that, off of that evidence.
Good point.
But maybe it's just like another term for like out of shape for them, because you can still be like athletic or unathletic
Yeah.
in this universe, apparently. But don't know why they would use the word flabby, what that would mean to them exactly. But
I feel like 90% of my questions for just this episode are like, what would Buddha have been? Would he have been a car? If so, what kind of car? Would he have been a wagon? Would everyone have just
man,
been wagons?
we have got to get into alternative history episode where we say, okay, they're not evolved from snails, they're evolved from wagons, and go from there. Because we have like
We got nothing.
we haven't established anything about a wagon society.
We haven't. We really haven't. All right.
So it's providing a lot of awkward pauses for us in this episode.
Do we know anything else about other religions?
I'm not sure we do, Johnny.
What would a Pastafarian be?
I'm going to say exactly the same. Nothing has changed with
Because it's the
Pastafarianism.
one true religion. The flying spaghetti monster in the sky. He exists in all universe.
I mean, food exists in this universe, so spaghetti probably exists. So, like, why would you need to change anything?
Yep. Pastafarianism. It's the same. And that's a Cars fact.
Brought to you by Check the Carfax. That's a real brand.
We've
I think
we have no idea about
should get
most
off.
religions. All right, so let's talk about.
We should get off world religions.
Let's talk about the actual religion of the Cars universe, Because sure, there's Catholicism, sure, there's Judaism, but let's get real. We already know who the real gods are. We know who the progenitors of this entire world really are.
Hit it.
It's the motherfucking trains.
You have lost your mind. Each one of these honks costs me $3. So we're actually losing $2.75 every time.
But Lucas, it's the motherfucking trains.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so these trains.
It does cost me at least 3 minutes, not 3 minutes, at least some amount of time of my life to edit a honk in every time.
Dang. Well, trains, Lucas. Trains. In the beginning,
Yes,
there was nothing.
there was.
And then there were trains.
I would go so far, and I think we did go so far in the trains episode, to say that the trains aren't the only old gods. Like the trains, maybe some like massive boats.
Yes.
Like for each of the realms, maybe there is like one.
They're arcs. They're
class of. Yes.
And the youngest god is probably going to be like space god, a rocket ship.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna say space god is the Voyager.
The Voyager,
the one that is just going straight out. The one that's furthest away from us. He is space god.
Yes, and in this universe, the car god the god of whatever automobile or whatnot had to exist, and then things just kind of existed after them. It's a train track theory of first there was boat god, and the world was only water, and boat god, everywhere boat god would go, water would follow, and then from there, train god appeared, and he rode across the land, creating land and tracks, both. And then the second youngest god came about and created the sky, and from there, the last youngest god, the Voyager, was born.
Man, that's like a Greek pantheon is what we've created.
It's exactly what it is. Now, what are we thinking about heaven and hell? Because there's got to be...
Oh, we sure didn't talk.
There's got to be an underworld for these cars. There's got to be an overworld.
Oh, gosh.
What would hell be? What would heaven be? And what would make sense to make the creatures? Or do we think... No, it's got to be something. What kind of transportation have we not discussed that's really old?
Horses. Horses are transportation.
No, it's got to be like, I don't know, it's got to have something that makes it move, but like not biological.
I mean, carts are biologically moved by people and or again horses. So
all right, hear me out. We've talked about how they created the seas, the sky, the land, and space, but have we talked about time?
If we have, I've somehow missed it.
Time machine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay.
This isn't heaven or hell, but the god of time is the TARDIS.
Yeah, okay. Father Time, Mother Time, because there was that episode where the TARDIS was a lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I've seen some episodes of Doctor Who, ladies.
All right, so TARDIS, god of time. Heaven and hell, though.
It could be like a massive mining vehicle.
Yeah, it's got to be something mining.
For hell, you know? We don't know mining vehicles. Maybe like all of the demons are like construction equipment type people.
But specifically...
Since they can like excavate.
Mining and excavation. Which would just create like a weird...
Yeah.
A weird dislike of any just creatures that are like that on that earth.
Well, I mean, the road paver in Cars 1 is not sentient. So maybe... Yeah. I can't say this because I'm sure there are examples of construction vehicles, but I can't think of any. Can you think of any like excavators or steamrollers or anything in these movies?
Not off the top of my head, no. Who is heaven though? We gotta figure out who heaven is. Okay, so like who's the king of all vehicles? Cause like for sure, water, boat, that'd be Poseidon. And then who's in charge of the land?
Like in Greek mythology, I guess it would be, I don't know, like Demeter. She does plants and harvest and stuff.
Yeah.
So it could be like a farm vehicle. would be Demeter.
Oh, wait. Okay, so I I'm gonna be wrong. This is probably gonna be just a dumb thing that I say. But is it Hinduism where like cows are believed to be sacred?
Yes.
That really leads,
Oh, the tractors.
yeah, farming equipment. Maybe it's a tractor. Maybe there's a tractor god.
Yeah. I want to go ahead. We can keep sort of ruminating on heaven while we talk about this. And maybe this will give us our answer, but like, we got to talk about the manufacturer, John. We have been talking for a long time and have not touched on that, huh?
I know who the manufacturer is.
Go for it. Hit me, hit me, hit me, hit me.
It's Wally. Wally is not Adam. Wally is Car God, the manufacturer. What does Wally do?
Collects trash.
He recycles.
Befriends cockroaches.
He befriends cockroaches. He saves humanity. And once humanity comes back to Earth, is delivered back to Earth, who is there but Wally, their one true savior,
You are taken.
who then turns every single person into a car, a ship, a plane, so that they can survive in this new world that is not habitable by humans. Wally is the manufacturer.
Yeah. I wasn't there. You said it, and I was like, oh, we're just going to say Wally, something else again. But
He delivered them.
maybe it was the fact that you just sort of. You slipped back into your brother John voice there for a second.
He delivered
Maybe
them
that's
from
why it was so
nothingness.
convincing.
Oh boy. But if we're talking like
So,
our Greek pantheon of, oh, these beings created the world, then even in that, it would have to be that Wally like created the first ship, the first train, the first all of these things, and those things specifically were vehicles that led the way for every other vehicle. And I even think of the idea of maybe these trains like explored this earth and created tracks out of the trash that was left behind so that they could help the world be fixed, and the oceans were taken care of by the original boat god, and the sky, the pollution was taken care of by the original plane or zeppelin god.
yeah. And if we're talking to continue our Greek mythology metaphor, if Wally is the father of like these the current pantheon of gods, that would make him Kronos. Uh,
Which means he had to have been eaten by the first plane. No, he ate the first plane and the
yeah.
first boat.
Kronos ate his children.
Oh no, because we both know what eating his children would be because he specifically recycles.
Oh, he cubed
He cubed his children.
his giant children.
He cubed his giant children, and then his children somehow were fixed by Eve, and then they came and they turned on him and cast him into an eternal hole for him to stay forever.
But this still tracks though, because uh, Kronos was not the original like being. He was a part of the Titans, and
Mm-hmm.
the Titans are the robots, I guess. And
Was
the
Gaia a
parents
Titan?
of the Titans. No, Gaia and Uranus are the mother and father of the Titans.
Mm,
So,
okay.
and to the Cyclopses, but that's neither here nor there. Uh, no, that's Cronus. No, that's anyway. So there's this generation of Titans that are the robots, and where they came from is the humans in the movie. So maybe it's not a perfect metaphor, but you try to make one
I don't
about
know,
Greek
like
mythology and
Gaia
cars.
being the Earth and Uranus being humanity as a concept, but not Wally humanity, the humanity before that.
If we want to get like metaphor-y, then Gaia being the Earth, Uranus being the stars. I
Okay.
mean, they go to space. There's also Earth. There's something there.
Yeah, yeah. And that would mean that Eve would be. Yeah, okay, so Eve comes from Uranus and Wally comes from Gaia, and together they are the creator, the
Yeah.
manufacturer. Nice.
just to show off my knowledge of Greek mythology, Eve would be Rhea in this metaphor.
Nice.
That's who Kronos marries.
Yes, and then who betrays
But she
Kronos.
also takes on a bit of Gaia's role as well, because Gaia is the one who. I like Greek mythology. Let's do a podcast about that. Anyway,
That probably would be better because we both, for this podcast, we both have the same level of expertise on cars. So, like, anything one of us knows, pretty much the other one will know, which is not enough. Neither of us know very much about cars. But if we were to do like a Greek thing, you could just be teaching me and I could be going through that and asking you questions, and it could be an actual experience of kind of like an interview sort of situation, but one of us is like the host and one of us is like a constant guest, rather than this, which is just two guys talking about car nonsense.
well, folks, this has been our last episode of the Chat. Catch us in 2 weeks
when we have our first
for the
episode
premiere.
of
The gods are fucking weird. That's what our Greek mythology podcast would be.
Is that your
I've
book?
decided.
That's your book's name, right?
That is, in fact, my book that I made for a class.
Which you can buy on Amazon for
You
$300,000. All right, not Amazon, but just get a hold of Lucas. He'll sell it for $300,000.
I would. Anyway, well, I think we just it took us like 40 minutes to knock out real religions, but man, we just cranked out.
I'm gonna be
a
real.
fake
It
religion.
feels to me as if only the last 10 minutes were worth listening to.
There was some good stuff in that first part, but I'm not in total disagreement with you.
So, again, this has been our last episode of the Chat. We are sorry, and we hope you liked the last bit.
I'm not going to apologize. We had some funny bits, and I will probably heavily edit it to take out us being like, oh, we didn't prepare. Oh, gosh, what are religions?
And like the 10 minutes I spent just looking things up and reading. Oh, boy. All right, so we've got evidence of religion, Abrahamic religions and history, other real-world religions, our new Cars religion. All right, so I prefer to think of our new Cars religion as being more of an ethereal. Before there was existence, there was a random vehicle. That vehicle created existence, and then there was boat, then there was train, then there was plane, and then there was Voyager. And with all of their creations, they would just travel, and behind them the world would exist. And that the current boats, the current trains, the current everything, those are just really, really low grade demigods.
Yeah.
Nice.
I agree. So were you discounting Wally from that? Because I liked our Wally connection.
Yeah, but that's if we're going more for like Greek, or if we're like trying to have something that like actually connects to something that makes a little bit of sense. I just like there being I like there being a separation of, oh, we've got this one, which is like a Greek thing, and it kind of like actually has something that makes sense. And then I like the idea of just this spiritual, ethereal nonsense that is just ridiculous.
So are we sticking with Wally is definitely the manufacturer, though?
Yeah, like from here on, I want to consider Wally to be the manufacturer.
Okay, so when in 2006, when Mac said, thank the manufacturer, he was thanking directly Wally.
Yes.
He saw the sacred texts of 2008. So that, oh man, was Mac a prophet of Wally then?
I think he's just
he
a
knew
follower.
about the manufacturer. I guess I'm imagining Wally being a movie that came out in the Cars universe also in 2008, 2 years after this event. So maybe Mac was an early adopter.
Now that's confusing to me, but okay.
He's an evangelist, a Wallgilist. Oh. I don't think that word would change, but
we got to think of a name for a Wally follower.
Wallier, no. Walliest?
Wallian?
No. That just sounds like you said William bad. Like you did a bad job saying William.
Oh, Walliest. Walliest.
Wallisters.
That just sounds like Hollisters. Ah, a manufacturist.
Yeah, that's it. We got there.
All right, that works for me. All right, I think it's about time to wrap up. Are you, any last words? Any corrections?
No corrections off the top of my head. But you can follow us on Twitter, and that's at the Kachat. You can email us if you want to spout your own religion at us. Please make it car themed somehow, but we can't stop you. Then that would be thekachat@gmail.com.
Yep. Also, please follow me on Instagram. Lucas also has an Instagram.
It's true.
Also, please give me a job. That'd be cool.
John, in what universe do you think an employer is going to listen to this? And then, after hearing us talk about cars for nigh on an hour ish, be like, well, I should send that guy an email. This guy, he seems like who I should have in my, I don't know, engineering firm and or acting troupe.
I feel like there's a chance with acting. There's a small chance they find me
after I
charming
said
enough.
it, I heard it. Leave us a rating on iTunes. Review
Yes,
us.
please.
And, tell a friend about us if you want.
I'm John Bishop.
And I'm Lucas Southworth.
Remember to float like a Cadillac.
And sting like a Beamer. Hall of
boy.
Fame